I want to share some inspiration that I had this morning. I was led to a few places in the course. The first place is in the Voice for God, which is in chapter 5. And this particular quote has always been one of my favorites from almost, I would say, the first couple of years. I just blew me away. And it's basically reminding us that it is possible in this world to listen to only one voice. It takes effort and great willingness to learn. And that effort and great willingness comes with consistent honesty with being honest with ourselves about which thought system we're really listening to. Which one am I believing right now in this moment? Because if I'm believing in the ego thought system, I am not going to be able to listen to that one voice. I'm not going to even want to listen to that one. So I'm going to read the passage, and it's in paragraph 3. And I'm going to start with putting my glasses on so I can see. The Holy Spirit is in you in a very literal sense. His is the voice that calls you back to where you were before and will be again. It is possible, even in this world, to hear only that voice and no other. It takes effort and great willingness to learn. It is the final lesson that I learned, and God's sons are as equal as learners as they are as sons. So we're being reminded here that we are equal. We are equal to Jesus. This was the last lesson. This was the final lesson he learned. So that's very inspirational in itself, recognizing that there's no rush here. We'll get there. We'll all get there, and it's a moment to moment practice. So listening to that one voice reminded me of the second characteristic of God's teachers, which is honesty. The honesty of being consistent in listening to the Holy Spirit. So I want to go to that section. So honesty is the second characteristic of God's teachers. I'm going to read it and see what shows up. Honesty. All other traits of God's teachers rest on trust. Once that has been achieved, the others cannot fail to follow. So this is just, most people that are watching this are probably familiar with the characteristics. The first characteristic is trust, and it is the bedrock of every characteristic because they all rest on trust. So this is what he's talking about here. Only the trusting can afford honesty, for only they can see its value. Honesty does not apply only to what you say. The term actually means consistency. There is nothing you say that contradicts what you think or do. No thought opposes any other thoughts. No act belies your word, and no word lacks agreement with another. Such are the truly honest. At no level are they in conflict with themselves. Therefore, it is impossible for them to be in conflict with anyone or anything. The peace of mind which the advanced teachers of God experience is largely due to their perfect honesty. It is only the wish to deceive that makes for war. No one at one with himself can even conceive of conflict. Conflict is the inevitable result of self deception, and self deception is dishonesty. There is no challenge to a teacher of God. Challenge implies doubts, and the trust on which God's teachers rest secure makes doubt impossible. Therefore, they can only succeed. In this, as in all things, they are honest. They can only succeed because they never do their will alone. They choose for all mankind, for all the world, and all things in it, for the unchanging and the unchangeable beyond appearances, and for the Son of God and his Creator. How could they not succeed? They choose in perfect honesty, sure of their choice as of themselves. So, honesty is consistency. It is the consistency in number one, trusting. Only the trusting can afford honesty. And it's trusting in the Holy Spirit, trusting in the Holy Spirit that I know nothing, knowing that I know nothing. And what I think is being honest is not being honest at all. Being honest is listening to the Holy Spirit who has everyone's best interest in mind. And what I'm really being reminded of in trust is in trust, in the development of trust, he talks about a period of sorting out. And the Holy Spirit helps us sort out the true thoughts from the false thoughts. So we look at our thoughts with the Holy Spirit consistently. We consistent we consistently look with the Holy Spirit and are shown what is not the truth, which is 99.9% of the thoughts that we think all day long, and bringing us back to the truth. The Holy Spirit brings us back to the truth. Um, there is a section in chapter 6 that is the lessons of the Holy Spirit, chapter 6, section 5, in the third lesson of the Holy Spirit, which is to be vigilant only for God and his kingdom. He says that we said before that the Holy Spirit is evaluative and must be. He sorts out the true from the false in your mind and teaches you to judge every thought you allow to enter it in the light of God, in the light of what God put there. So this Holy Spirit being evaluative is a good thing. It's not the evaluative that we think of as a judgment of, we're judging something, which kind of reminds me of Krishnamurti's quote, which coincides with this beautifully, where he says that um, the highest form of intelligence is looking, I'm paraphrasing, it's looking at your thoughts without evaluating, looking without evaluating. And that, in that sense, he means judging, but that's judging from the ego. The Holy Spirit judges from a different perspective. And that's why we sort our thoughts out with the Holy Spirit, because the only judgment of the Holy Spirit is love or a call for love. So he's teaching us to judge every thought you allow to enter it in the light of what God put there. So we're only learning that the only The only thoughts that are true are the thoughts we think with God, and those thoughts are all inclusive. And that's how we know we're thinking with God, when we know we're including everyone. So this is leading me to the towards the end of the honesty, towards the end of the very last paragraph. He says that it is in this, as in all things, they are honest. They can only succeed because they never do their will alone. They ask God, what is your will for me, Father? I do not know. I do not know what this is for. Show me. And that's when we ask the Holy Spirit to help us sort out these thoughts from the false, from the true. Um, and he says they choose for all mankind, for all the world, and all things in it, for the unchanging and the unchangeable. So the Holy Spirit sorts out the unchangeable from the changeable thoughts that are changing all the time that we're going through this day with all this chatter, that we step back and allow the Holy Spirit to help us quiet our minds, to stop listening to these thoughts that are not true. We let them come and we let them go. We don't serve them tea, as the famous quote by Suzuki says. We don't serve them tea. We don't identify with them. We don't even listen to them. We just let them come and let them go. They are not the truth. And we learn to identify with the Holy Spirit in our mind, who's showing us the truth. And he's saying here it's for the unchanging and unchangeable beyond appearances. So we're noticing appearances, but recognizing that the form is not the truth. There's nothing as blinding as perception of form, the Course tells us. There is nothing so blinding as perception of form. We learn to look beyond the form to the truth. We overlook as best we can throughout the day and recognize that this is not the truth. These thoughts are not the truth. This form is not the truth. This physical body is not the truth of who we are. And thank God that it's not, because it's changing all the time and in ways that are sometimes very difficult to deal with. And that is learning to look at it with the unchangeable truth, that it does not have to destroy the peace that is always there, no matter what the body is going through. I can always be at peace knowing that the truth of who I am, my true inheritance, is that peace. So we choose it for all mankind, for all the world and all things in it, and for the Son of God and his creator. And the Son of God is every living thing. It's all. And his creator, which is our source, which is whom I choose to call God. How could they not succeed? They choose in perfect honesty, sure of their choice as of themselves. So it is this choice for the Holy Spirit, being consistent in choosing the Holy Spirit, choosing the most loving thing to do, being consistent with choosing what is the most loving thing I can do in this moment, being kind to myself first, so I can therefore be kind to others. And this is how we learn consistency, by listening to the Holy Spirit. And there's another quote that I love from Socrates, and there's three questions. Is it true? Is it kind? And is it necessary? Being consistent and looking at those three questions. Is it true? Is it of God? Is it all inclusive? Am I including everyone in this? If I'm not, it's not true. Is it kind? Am I being kind? Am I being gentle? Am I doing the most loving thing and saying the most loving thing in this moment? Is it helpful? And is it necessary? Is it really necessary to say this right now? Being consistent and looking at those three things. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? I found to be very helpful in being honest, because honesty is only of the Holy Spirit. And this consistency of listening to one voice was the last lesson Jesus learned. So it's the last lesson we need to learn. We don't have to worry that it's not happening all the time because it probably won't. But recognizing that it's not happening gives us that opportunity to choose again. And this is what the consistency is: watching our thoughts, consistency, noticing, looking, letting go, repeat over and over again. And this is forgiveness. Honesty is consistency and practicing forgiveness, recognizing that everything is just an opportunity for forgiveness, consistently recognizing that this is here for the greatest good. It's all happening for you, not to you. Be consistent in being a happy learner, which is learning with the Holy Spirit. And on that note, I wish all these good things for you today because I wish these all good things for me today. And have a happy day.